The Constellation-class cruiser is a long-serving multi-purpose craft developed in the late 23rd century as a potential backup to the problem-plagued Excelsior class. The ship saw limited production during the mid-2280s and has seen continued service up to the present day in a variety of capacities. The development of the Constellation class is tied inextricably to the delays experienced by the Excelsior program, the latter class attempting to achieve greatly increased speed over conventional designs with the introduction of a new reactor and flight computer. However, Excelsior was plagued with instabilities and numerous flaws from the start, which would delay the program considerably, leading to the continued production of the Constitution II class cruiser as an interim measure by Starfleet. Already in 2275, it was clear that Excelsior would fail to achieve its planned date of entry into service, with some experts having come to believe that the Great Experiment was a failure. Still, desiring similar performance to the Excelsior, Starfleet started what became the Constellation class in 2276. Due to the desired rapid development pace of the new vessel and its conventional nature versus the Excelsior, off-the-shelf components were used wherever possible. This included the nacelles and bridge module from the Constitution family. However, the ship's reactors, a unique dual design, and flight computer, which was necessary to handle the unusual warp flight characteristics, were each all-new designs. The ship's four-nacelle arrangement, an oddity in Starfleet, was a direct consequence of this reliance on existing components, as the warp coils from the Constitution-type nacelles would overheat after just a few hours at the speeds envisioned for the class, requiring a lengthy cooldown period. In order to maintain such high speeds, a second pair of nacelles were carried to allow the first to recover without a long time spent out of warp. This system, while functional, did add considerable complexity to the design, and also resulted in very high energy consumption and unusual warp field profiles, all of which made the design less than ideal for the ship's engineering staff when in service. The class's armament, sensors, crew amenities, and other facilities were on par with the latest designs then in service, allowing the vessel to more than hold its own against all projected enemies of the day, and indeed remain a viable platform well into the 24th century. USS Constellation entered her trials in 2282, achieving performance levels that fell well within her design parameters. At the time, the Excelsior was nearly ready to enter her own trials, and so no further vessels were initially ordered. However, in 2284, after yet more delays in the Excelsior's development, Starfleet ordered 5 further vessels of the class. Eventually, 17 Constellation-class ships would be built, the bulk of these vessels being ordered after the Excelsior experienced a massive systems failure in 2286 while attempting to intercept the USS Enterprise as she tried to leave space dock under the command of a rogue crew. Constellation-class ships continued in production until 2289, USS Victory being the final ship commissioned. In service, the class was found to consume deuterium and antideuterium at a truly shocking rate, given the ship's comparatively short range, which precluded them from service in roles far from Federation space and support infrastructure. Instead, the type most often found itself patrolling the borders and used as training ships. A notable example of this being the USS Stargazer, which was a frequent participant in the border wars with the Cardassian Union, and was presumed lost in the 2350s, after a conflict with an unknown ship, though Stargazer would later be recovered intact. The type was being phased out by the 2360s, being judged as far too old and few in number to make refitting them to a more modern standard a viable option. However, the Klingon Civil War Federation Klingon War and later Dominion War would force Starfleet to keep the surviving vessels in service well into the 2370s and beyond. 5 ships were lost during the Dominion War, and it did not take Starfleet long at all to dispose of the survivors at the end of the conflict. While never able to outshine the Excelsior class due to its more dated technology, and suffering from frequent maintenance requirements and high fuel consumption, the Constellation class nonetheless gave good service over its lengthy life, with several members of the class making the ultimate sacrifice in defense of the Federation late in their service lives when they were called virtually out of the scrapyard to defend the Federation against some of the worst threats it would ever face. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you like more stuff like this. If you like the artwork, let me know. I do it myself, so, praise is always appreciated. And if you really like the channel, there is a Patreon linked below. I think all that's out of the way. I think I can say goodbye right now, so I will. Bye.